Hey, I'm Brian. Happy to be able to serve associations throughout the Panhandle and Pensacola, Escambia area, and Walton, and just kind of all places in between. Love serving our local church, and we seek to cover a whole bunch of different areas. One, to encourage our pastors to equip our churches to be healthy, and then to help them engage the mission field that's all around them. One of the hot topics that churches are facing, we've really seen it faced in the last couple of years with COVID, and that's online giving. Some churches are shifting, they're adding new platforms, but it can be a little delicate and uncertain for how churches are going to navigate and step into that field. And so we're fortunate to have one of our pastors that also works for an online giving company that able to work in that church management software world that's able to help navigate our churches through that. And so I wanted to have a conversation with David Barker today, who's doing a great job as pastor, but also serving churches in this area of online giving. So, David, hey, thanks so much for taking some time for us to do this webinar together, kind of get our churches thinking more and exposed to this area of online giving. So, thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you having me. Like Brian was saying, I pastor in North Walton County at Gaskin First Baptist. So, of course, I have a heart for the church. And then, of course, my day job, I'm bivocational or co-vocational, sorry, as some would say. And so my day job, I do work for a church software company. I've done this for about a year and a half now. So just in some of my conversations with Brian, we were talking a bit about what I do in the day job, and he asked if I'd be willing to do this, and absolutely. I'm on the support side, so I'm not a sales guy. I'm not here to try to sell anything to anybody. I can just tell you what the company that I work for does, and then these are just two options. A couple options I'll give you here, but there are plenty of good companies out there. But we're seeing, of course, especially like Brian said, these last couple of years, the need to have a digital solution for giving, but then also, as I'll mention here in a little while, just the church management of managing your database and different things like that, planning events. There's a lot of things you can do online.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well, let's dive on in. So you work for Tidely. And so I know you've been there, and like you said, a little over a year working with that whole world. I know even longer than that. So just kind of unpack the services that Tidely offers, just kind of unpack that great organization.
Sure, absolutely. Whenever you talk to somebody from Tidely, they're going to say something to the effect of, we want to have, we want to be able to provide all the tools online that your church is going to need. So through the Tidely, and that's tithe, like, give your tithes, LY, so Tidely, or tithe.ly if you're going to the website. So what Tidely does is they have a broad range of products that they offer. And actually with Tidely, I've only been associated with them since September. I initially came into this world working for church management software called Breeze. Tidely acquired Breeze in September. So now, if you had talked to me 9 months ago, I would have been just telling you all about Breeze. Now, with Tidely, it's a larger company with more products to offer. So what they offer, the main thing, it's right there in their name, Tithe. The main thing is that online giving. Like we said, say 3-4 years ago, some churches already had online giving, but 2 years ago, most churches came on board with online giving. Just Tidely's talked about, they doubled in size in those first few months of the pandemic, just because everybody was trying to find something. I remember those days as a pastor scrambling, trying to find what I would use. And I just grabbed kind of the first thing I found, which, on another note, it was Planning Center, which is another one that a number of folks are familiar with. We are now on Tidely as a church, but, there's all kinds of things out there you could use. Tidely offers online giving, of course, that's their main thing, but in their umbrella, they offer also apps. So you could have a custom church app. They offer websites. They offer the church management side, which is what Breeze does. They also have another church management package called Elvanto. And what those are, Breeze is a simple, easy to use, straight out of the gate, you're in it and you're using it. Elvanto is more of a large church enterprise, is the term we use, more of a large enterprise software package that they say will take you about a 40-hour training commitment to really learn that one. So just so you know, it's a great package. but is bigger, more detailed, more customizable than Breeze. So these are just really the things. Messaging is another thing. You're texting and email, or texting and emailing. So there's a lot to Tithely, but those are kind of the main things there. One that just came to mind, a point of sale. So if you have a bookstore in your church, there is a Tithely Pay where you can have, it's a credit card swipe, and you can process payments that way. So there's a lot of things that Tithely offers for the churches.
So I heard I'll just use the word products that can be used, and there's a scalable projects. So it doesn't matter if it's a smaller church or just a really a large church. You have both the products and the scalability of those products with every single thing that Tithely offers. Which is helpful too, because everything's getting complex. Everybody's numbers, you don't just have, it's not simple anymore, but we're trying to make it simple. And I appreciate y'all attempting to do that, whoever the client is, small or large. Now, there is generally, whenever I'm working with churches, that they're on tight budgets when the different costs are going up all across the country today. And so many are wondering, what's the cost? And so maybe those who are watching this, they're wondering, okay, nice product, what's the cost? So just kind of unpack that a little bit. What costs are associated with Tithely, primarily that online giving platform, and then you can go to other areas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned scalability. There are some, and this, just alluding to some of our competitors, some of them offer scalability, and depending on the size of your church, your price changes. Tithely doesn't do that. Tithely offers one price, which for the giving platform is $0. So, I mean, that's a great price to have. And with any giving platform that you use, whoever it is, there's going to be transaction fees where the individual donating has the option to cover those fees. So, it could be as little as, 50 cents. It could be, depending if it's a larger gift, it could be a larger transaction fee. But again, it's something that you offer to the donor. If you would like to cover this, that would help us out. So Tithely does not charge a fee to use the giving platform. It's super simple to set up. You can do that within just really 10 minutes at the most. I think they actually, now that I think about it, I think the website says 5 minutes, but it's 5 to 10 minutes, depends. Like when I signed up, one of the things when you set it up, as the person who is the primary contact and user, and it's dealing with financial information, you have to upload a picture of ID. So, I didn't have my wallet with me, so I had to go find my wallet and do things like that. But it's super simple to sign up, and there's no cost. So no cost to have the giving platform.
Okay, so I think it is helpful to know that as people are trying to explore this area, maybe they've never done online giving, that there's a platform, and there's, in a sense for Tithely, there's no cost, but then there is also some processing or some transaction fees, and those can be different. They're percentage based or just a base rate. Now, is there something that, and I know you can give to like different designateds and general accounts as well, but you'd mentioned the cost, if they like to cover, if that individual, let's just say they're making a $10 contribution to your church, and let's just say there is a 50 cent, however the percentages shake out, 50 cent, either that person could cover those costs, or if they don't, then that transaction cost can be passed off to the church.
Right.
Is that usually the way that works?
It is. So personally, I transitioned 2 years ago. For our tithe as a family, we go online, and I always cover that fee. But if someone says they don't want to, for whatever reason, like, hey, I said I was given $10, I'm only given $10, that's fine. The church would just absorb that fee. So if it were 50 cents, the church would see in their reporting, $10 was given, 50 cents taken out, $9.50 transferred to our bank account. So that's how that would work.
Okay. Now, is there any current, let's just say if somebody enters into with Tithely, you not necessarily really speak for other organizations, but is there contracts, or what can somebody think of for a contract, or how long that type of commitment needs to be?
Right. Well, with Tithely, there's no contract. So it's use it, don't use it. You sign up, no contract, no commitment. If there are other products in our suite, so the Tithely Giving, no charge. There are other products that have monthly cost, but at the same time, you can stop at any point. And what I would say as far as that monthly cost, so like I mentioned, Breeze, the church management side, the one that I initially started with, if you were to come to Breeze, if you were to come to the breezechms.com website and sign up for that, Breeze has a giving platform. Breeze, again, it was the church management kind of all in one stop. And then Tidely acquired that to add to their repertoire. But with Breeze, it's $67 a month. And so that's your monthly subscription fee. But a great thing with being acquired by Tidely, Tidely has what they call an all access package. So whenever I mentioned websites or apps or messaging or pay, these different things, or church management, whenever you look at all of those, you start adding up the individual costs, it can get up there. But Tidely has an all access package for $99. And you get, just like it says, access to all of those things. Okay. So $67 just if you went with Breeze. Well, if you have, let's say, an app, I think the app is $59. I'm that's off the top of my head. I didn't look at that just yet. Sure. But if you just add those two products, you're over $100. Whereas you can go $99 and get all of them. So that's just something, when I saw that, I was like, man, I mean, if a church can pull that, you're looking for a website, looking for a custom app, it's really a great price.
So it will be helpful really for that church to really, when they're trying to step into this world, to evaluate the whole package of their needs. Because for those watching, you're like, well, what's this church management information system? Just think of your attendance. How are we going to track who's present? How much does individual give? So at the end of the year, you're able to get how much your contributions, how many times you go to Sunday school or small groups, or all those is in our kind of behind the scenes church world, that church management information system. And Tidely has that. Right. So that's one of those platforms out there. And then, so this kind of description of all those benefits coming together, that's what that looks like. So many churches have probably these little pieces, hopefully not just written down on scratch paper, but you're able to bring all those together. And that can be very helpful, I think, is to bring them all together under one big kind of church management umbrella.
Absolutely.
To make it really seamless.
And something that Breeze has, and again, I'm more familiar with Breeze having been with them for a year and a half. So I lean towards that. But of course, I mentioned all that Tidely has. But even with Breeze, like I said, we had our own giving platform. And so church secretary or treasurer, whoever could come in Monday morning, and they could log all of the cash and checks that they got. They could connect those, because it's a church management, has all of your database, has all of your people, then you could connect. Hey, Bob gave $100 via check, this check number, put that on there. But then say Bob next week decides he wants to give online, it automatically connects to his profile. So what's really helpful about that is January, because January is when statements have to go out. And if you're just keeping spreadsheets, or you've got a book, a physical book, you're writing all this down, there's a lot to pull together. If you're using Breeze or Elvanto or something like that, then you're able to, and you're tracking all the gifts, not just the online giving. If you're tracking all of that, then at the end of the year, it's click a few buttons and you've now produced your statement for everybody. So that really helps.
Well, if you're kind of just stepping into it, for some, they're techie out there and it's easy. Some it can be overwhelming. Is there demos? I mean, how can you kind of navigate?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to share my screen just for a second, just so I can take you to our websites. There are two. Again, Breeze still has its separate website and everything. So here we'll see. Let's see here. Click share. So right here, this is the Breeze website. You'll see breezechms.com. And here in the top right corner, you can see start an instant demo. And Breeze is set up to be easy, straight out of the box, start using it. Of course, there are more detailed, more advanced things you can do with Breeze. But when Breeze was originally founded, our founder, his whole goal was to make Breeze a software that was usable for a small to mid-sized church. Because he actually had been on staff at a really large church, and when they changed software packages, it was a nightmare because it was just this huge deal. He said they had several people on staff that their job was IT. That was everything they did was technology, and they still had a hassle. So he was like, what must this be like for a small, mid-sized church who has the one staff member or two staff members? And, so that's where Breeze came from. So you can definitely sign up for a demo here. That's a couple weeks free of charge. And with the Breeze demo, it's not a situation of your 2 weeks ran out, now we're billing you. it's a true free trial, and then you can choose to activate a trial after that, or activate a paid account after that. So that's Breeze. Then if you go over to Tithely, this is get.tithe.ly, or if you just go to tithe.ly, it'll take you the same place. But you can scroll down and you'll see on here the same thing. You can see all the different products and everything. And at the bottom, it says schedule a demo. So that'll give you a chance to view what's available. And also, one thing I would point out here, as long as I'm on the site, if you look at pricing, this would tell you the individual packages. So there it is: church apps for $59, messaging 5, etc., or all access $99. And even the setup, you see all these setup fees for the individual things. It's one setup fee if you go all access. So definitely a good thing to do. And if you were to go there and you said, hey, I want to start a church management, I want to sign up for church management also. I heard about this Breeze. I heard it's simple. I want to use that. Just mention that to them, because when you sign up for all access, they're going to want to know, well, what church management software do you want to use, Elvanto or Breeze?
And then they've been there, that customer support, to be able to help you. Whoever steps into it, customer support's there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You'll have the sales team to start off with. Then there's an onboarding team that'll sales get you signed up. Onboarding kind of helps you get set up and ready to go. But then at any point in the future, there are amazing support teams. And I don't just say that because I'm on the support team. I say that because it's true. Honestly, especially working on the Breeze side, and it's carried over to Tithely also. But working with Breeze, the heart of all of the support people is to minister to the church. And it's huge, because most of us are in the church also, as far as we've got numerous pastors, worship leaders. I mean, there's just most of us are either on staff or have been on staff at a church. So we understand those needs. So you've got support, email support, chat support, phone support. You can request someone call you back. So there's all kinds of different ways that you're going to be well taken care of if you have that question of how do I do this. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Take off your Tithely hat for a second, put on the pastor hat. You're in a rural community. And so being able to preach up at your church, it's been just a great, great church. How has just online giving in your setting, how has it helped your church? How has it kind of helped you kind of push ministry forward, conduct ministry? So just from that pastor's point of view, really kind of speaking of the benefits of this kind of digital giving.
Sure.
Just as a pastor.
Yeah, absolutely. What we see is really a change, especially with the younger generation, a change in the way people give. Used to, everyone gave cash or check, and everyone had cash on them all the times. I rarely have cash, and I'm not even in that younger generation, but I rarely have cash on me. And so when I personally transitioned to online giving, man, it just made it a lot easier for me. I pull my phone out and I go ahead and hit send, and I'm done. I'm not writing a check. I'm not having to drop anything in the offering plate. So it's convenient. So that's one thing. Not only that, regardless of whether you're using Breeze Giving or Tithely Giving or whatever, there's the option to set up recurring gifts. And what that does is, for that person who wants to, hey, I just want to set it and forget it. I don't want to have to worry, oh, wait, it's time to give. I want to give, and I just want it to be convenient, and I want to make it happen every month. You set up a recurring gift so they know, here's how much I make. And on the first of the month, I'm giving to the church, and it's break it down by these funds. I'm giving this much to the general and this much to missions or whatever. You can set that up. So that's been helpful. And then not only that, I mean, recently we did a youth fundraiser. And so our youth were going outside the church. They were going to individuals at school. They were going to family members. And we offered them, said, hey, if it's not convenient to get a check, because I mean, it might be grandma who's on the other side of the country or something. So if it's not convenient to get a check to them, you can also use our online giving platform. And so we brought in a lot of the gifts that we received were through that. So again, convenience. It really is convenient. So, you think about the price of a stamp, and getting an envelope and doing all that and mailing it, or just go online, and yes, there's a small fee, but the convenience of it covers that, so
especially
that's what
with the price of stamps going up all the time.
That's what I'm saying. It's constantly going up. So definitely it's convenient. It gives people that option. And I've had people say, hey, I'm not going to be able to be there. We're traveling. but can you remind me of the online giving link? I want to go ahead and
Yeah.
make sure my tithe gets in. So there's all of that, or we're sick this week or whatever. If they can't be there for some reason, they still want to give, and so they can do that through online giving.
All right. Hey, well, Dave, appreciate the time. If somebody
Yeah.
wants to get in touch with you, or again, just one more time with
Yeah.
Tithely, what's that website or best way for them to kind of explore a little bit more on this topic?
Sure. So Tithely, the overall, again, they're our parent company. They have Breeze. A lot of times I refer to Breeze just because that's where I started, but Tithely is tithe, that's TITHE.ly. So tithe.ly, that'll get you to that page. If you're interested in Breeze and seeing more on that side, it's breezechms.com. Now, CHMS is important. So breezechms.com. We've gotten calls about Breeze Airlines, Breeze laundry sheets, Breeze drones. There's all kinds of breezes out there. So that breezechms.com will get you there. And then if anyone has questions just for me, again, I'm not on the sales team, so I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. There's a lot of good products out there. It's just, I know the heart of the people in this company. Sure. But if you wanted to reach out to me, just you can go to david.barker@tithe.ly, and that'll get to me directly. And anyone has questions, I'd be happy to help you with it.
All right. Appreciate it. Hey, and also, as we just continue to serve churches all throughout the Panhandle of Florida, if you're maybe your church is part of our Florida Panhandle Association of Churches, whether in Walton or Escambia County, just reach out to our association offices, and we just want to walk with you through that. We'll connect you with David, connect you with the other products that are out there that could serve your church well. And if it's a little overwhelming, don't worry. We're going to make sure we walk with you through it just one step at a time. So again, thanks so much for just spending some few moments with us as we kind of step into online giving. It's a new day of technology. It is growing really fast, but we want to help sure we're helping our churches be the church, and we so appreciate it. David, thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.